Hello, welcome to a bit of a different video. A little while ago my friend Jack came down to fly with me and he was talking about me flying his KISS Ultra Quad, and he wanted me to film that and see what I thought about it. But I thought I'd include the whole day of what we did, because we crashed a bunch of things. We had a tricopter flying, we chased each other around a bit, and we had a good old day. It was one of the hottest days of the year, absolutely no shade. We were trying to get out of the sun but it couldn't happen. This is just, you know, me and a friend hanging out, so you might hear a little bit of effing and jeffing, as we say in England, which to everybody else means a little bit sweary occasionally, but nothing too bad. Anyway, you've been warned, let's get on with it. So we're in the field, Jack's here.
Hello.
And he's brought his tricopter along, which is based on the proper kosher David, no, I've forgotten his second name.
Winterstill.
David Winterstill's design. And difference is this is running Betaflight?
Yes.
Instead of Triflight. Has it got one of the digital servos?
Bluebird turbo.
So you did the whole thing with the little
No feedback.
No feedback.
He said it's not needed. Betaflight's improved so much, just fly it on Betaflight. He said don't bother. Or he couldn't be asked to deal with me. Either or, understandably, David.
So this is 8-inch props flying on 4S?
Yep, slow fly. Yep.
Slow fly.
Bluebird motor, whatever it was, I can't remember what it is. It is on Crossfire.
And 30 amp ESCs.
Yeah, SpedX. So I think they are doing D-shot. I'm not 100% sure, can't remember.
And you're going to let me fly it?
Yes.
Even though the last time I flew a tricopter,
it exploded.
Yeah, I kind of broke the servo, but it did this amazing landing where it turned into a helicopter rotor and just went down. Oh, there's not much LSD. Ooh, yeah, there's a bit of a yaw wobble, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's familiar.
Yeah, he does the weird squirrely hunty thing.
Yeah. Do you find like the servo's going back and forth crazy?
Yeah.
Because that's the old analog servo job. It's nice to know it still does it on digital. I think it's worse here where it's a bit windier.
Yeah.
It's kind of like flying a wing in terms of that yaw wobble.
It's fucking nuggety as fuck.
But it's still quite nice. I think the way the yaw works as you bring it round in sort of coordinated turn, it feels much smoother and slightly more natural than doing it in a quad. Yeah, it does want to jump around a bit.
Yeah, I mean it's flying pretty well in this wind. I'm shocked. And I don't think the props are balanced at all.
That was the thing you had to do.
But yeah, I mean, fuck.
Whee! Whoa!
You are brave.
Did you
mate.
see that through the goggles?
Yeah, that was horrendous.
That was like what my wing was doing the other day. Yeah, when it gets into that, I mean that's classic pid loop territory, isn't it? It's overcorrect, go back again.
So I'll stand right by the bail. I love the noise of it. But I don't know, I'd get a few mistakes high and maybe go for a roll or something.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe.
See how it goes. Alright. Quick roll. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. Do you want to do a backflip?
Do it. Whoop.
No.
Slightly
it
different
happens.
rates, but yeah, that's okay. What do you think, a tree dive?
If you think you can pull out of it.
I think so. This is
It is on a really old shit battery, don't forget.
More power than my old one. It's like 14.7. Yeah, it's like the wind assist.
Yeah.
So I had a pretty good flight of Jack's tricopter, and then Jack flew his own tricopter so I could chase it in my Avata 2, and that video is on his channel. It all went a bit wrong though when he decided he wanted to try and chase me flying the tricopter. So this is me flying Jack's tricopter, and if I go to the original audio now, you'll hear me calling out to Jack what I'm doing so he can get a decent chase view.
I think the wind's dropped off a little bit, so I'm getting a little bit lower. Sort of going a little bit diagonal, and I'll do like a 180 round to the left, come across ourselves. Scary noise. They're down, trying to get around these fucking things. RX loss.
It must be those antennas touching again. Heading left again. I'm going to go out to the outside and sort of go down a diagonal.
It's a fucking challenge, isn't it? You're doing so well.
It is interesting. I think the wind's dropped off a little bit, which is making it a little better. But yeah, because it wags, you're like, I don't know where I'm lined up. So yeah, coming around to the right, onto the outside a little bit. Woo! Big waggle. Big waggle. It's not stopping. Come on. You can do it. Sorry, I had to slow right down there because it was it was going mental. Whoa! It flipped out on me completely. So aside from me smashing up one of my friend's tricopters, Jack had also carried on recording when he'd flipped to use my quad, which it was on NTSC instead of PAL, and if you do that on Fat Shark goggles you get this. So we attempted to repair this. In my editor I was able to overlay one of the halves of the pictures with the other, which gave us a good black and white image, but of course because it thought it was in PAL and it's now NTSC, it's lost the colour information. So we got that colour back. I couldn't find a free way of doing it, but my daughter's doing a graphic design degree and that means she gets a subscription to Adobe. We found out we were able to put these slices of video into Photoshop, bizarrely, and then ask it to put the colour back in using AI, and it seems to have done a fairly good job. So we've actually got the crash from Jack's point of view. So this is Jack getting a little close and personal. Hey, flying my quad there, careful. Almost got the tricopter. And going around this last corner, you can see that tricopter go into that massive waggle. That looks even worse from the external view than it felt on the internal. And then basically it just rolls over and dies. What we believe happened is the motor mount came out. Everything was in one big lump except for one of the motor mounts, which we couldn't find. So unfortunately we got some broken bits there, but it's not like it can't be repaired. So still a fun time flying it, even though the results weren't brilliant.
Armed. Oh, it's
Okay, Jack is flying an open IPC quad for the first time. What are you thinking so far?
it's a little bit juddery,
Yeah.
and it seems a little bit blurry, but bearable. Do you know what I mean?
Praise indeed, yeah.
Yeah,
I certainly get the judder. I was talking about this when I moved from a different receiver to the video receiver it's got in there now.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit juddery, you could just tell. This is, I think it's running at 720p at like 120 frames a second.
I could definitely. There is a bit of it's definitely noticeable latency.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I wouldn't like to race on this, but for freestyle, it's, you know, it's all right.
You know, sacrifice the chicken and all that sort of shit. Whoop.
Oh, bloody wind!
Bloody wind! If only there was a hill to crash into.
Oh no, yeah.
I have only ever flown beta flight quads or stuff like KK2 when I was starting out and getting desperate. Jack over here is always very pro KISS, and this is KISS Ultra.
Yes.
So he wants me to try out this. What is this, an Apex?
It's an Apex, the original analog Apex. It's got a KISS Ultra V2. So originally there was KISS, and Felix made the boards and stuff, and you know, and they had their like only SEs and everything, and then Paul Blake, you know, used to sell them and whatnot, and then a developer, Alexander Fedorov, like kind of split in a way, but then still brings his code into KISS, and it's still under the same sort of brand. And then Felix is FetTech, which is still from the same sort of family as KISS, with a license. There's not really that much KISS code left in it. So he's kind of like rewritten stuff. So you got a barometer on there, does return to home, we can do loiter if I had updated it. And then last but not least, it's got a Voltara ESC.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be KISS ESC these days?
No, it now supports AM32
nice.
and BO Heli pass-through, but Voltara is kind of like the KISS Ultra ESC.
Okay, so there was KISS, then KISS Ultra, and now Fectec. So sort of KISS has gone away, kind of, and KISS Ultra's...
Still buy KISS stuff, but it's expensive. And
yeah, KISS Ultra's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite expensive.
Does it have an OSD in it now without a separate board?
Yes.
Amazing. This is one of the reasons I've never looked at it. That and the expense, but let's try it out. I will try not to crash because it's not my quad.
Same mode arm switch.
Okay.
All the way down.
So that's really the only switch.
All the way down for arm.
Okay. Armed. Alright, this feels a bit more locked in than the Tricopter, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this feels pretty smooth, got to say. Zero prop wash. Very nice. So Jet, what is your experience on, because you've got a Betaflight quad.
Yeah.
How do you think it compares at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's because, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm still like playing around with Betaflight and there's filtering. It is pretty good, but regards, you know, you can put KISS rates in, but they just don't feel the same at all.
Is the point with KISS, is it literally keep it simple, stupid? You don't have as much faffing around to do?
Yes, and there's obviously, like, you know, it had a lot of presets, and it, you know, and obviously the rates are just lovely. It reminds me of the old multi-Wii. It just feels nice and moves nicely. Betaflight ain't bad, but it's not KISS. And with KISS Ultra, because he's included a lovely OSD and so many features, it's kind of made everything super simple. You just kind of, you know, it goes, this is here, you know, everything's on plugs as well, very minimal soldering. And then the Voltara is like a known, you know, known ESC, so all the voltage and milliamps is correct, and, you know, like really sort of like heavy, well made, just works. No, you know, no sort of messing around, you know, like you add a capacitor, the OSD isn't flickering, locked signal. It's just lovely.
It does feel very, very smooth.
Very nice.
Because normally in a DVR it's like, okay, it feels a little bit bitty, but that's going to smooth out with the GoPro. Whereas this just feels quite smooth in the DVR, which is lovely. Quite loud, this one, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, and you can just put stuff on default and have a pleasant experience. There's no sort of like fighting it. So, yeah, good support, good community. My only downside, I reckon, is expense. But if you know, if you were like me back in the 2014, 2016 sort of thing, where, you know, you're doing a lot of quad building and working, helping a lot of people, and, you know, with my health as well, not being well, I just needed a quad that worked, and I was able to just, you know, not have to worry about it, because there was nothing worse than when I was being at Radio C all day, fixing stuff, and, like, you know, quad fighting you to, you know, trying to coax them to live. The last thing you want to do is come home and then work on your own quad. You know, it's kind of the same reason that, you know, mechanics have such shit cars. They can't be asked to work on their own, right?
So expense-wise, how much is like a KISS Ultra flight controller then?
So from your FPV, it's about £90,
So, yeah.
round about there. I think you can maybe buy one direct.
So you can see why they're a little bit
Yeah,
not as popular. It's just purely on price, I
yeah.
guess.
Should have chased that bird. You're at 21, you're done.
Yeah, 21.6. Right, bringing it in. This is obviously a nicer battery because you're at 21.
Yeah, yeah. I gave you the best. You come in close. Make sure you're on that arm switch. Oh, you're all right. It's the mode switch, all the way up. Start as well. Ready?
Jack is quite thin, but he's going to stand on this to show its strength. It's crazy. The only other noteworthy thing of the day was I was flying my Avata 2 again, following Jack's quad. I think this is one of the KISS quads he's got, and that was going absolutely fine until the point where suddenly my controls just locked up and the quad just fell out of the air. Fortunately no damage, nice soft landing, but yeah, obviously it shouldn't do that, so there is a support call in with DJI at the moment to say what the hell's going on.
So that was our day, and many thanks to Jack for coming down to visit me. It's always so much more fun to fly with somebody else. It's like 1,000 times better than your best day you'll have on your own, just because you've got someone to chase around or mess with. And of course we didn't really fly our own stuff, we just flew each other's things to sort of share our experience with that. Now, so what about the KISS Ultra stuff? Well, I found it very impressive. Obviously that Impulse RC Apex frame is extremely strong. Like, you can stand on it and it doesn't break, which is pretty impressive stuff. And the quad flew very smoothly, like impressively smooth. I suppose the question is it better than like Betaflight out of the box? And pretty much you can take components and build a Betaflight quad and take one of the set presets and it will fly pretty good. The question is, do you have the time to spend and the know-how to get it that extra 5% better that turns it from a good flying quad into something that just feels buttery smooth? That's the big thing. Now that KISS Ultra certainly felt buttery smooth to me, and I guess the advantage you've got there is with less components. Although KISS Ultra certainly works with other ESCs like BL Heli and AM32 and stuff, it seems to be a trend that people will choose a sort of the set hardware. This works really well on there, so everybody uses it, and that makes it so much easier to know that you're going to get like a brilliant flight out of this, because you're pretty much building on the stuff that everyone's done before. But you do pay for it. I had a quick look at the components Jack was using and I broke down the prices I would have to pay in the UK to get them. So an Impulse RC Apex frame, £89.90. The KISS Ultra V2 flight controller, £97.50, very expensive. The Voltara 70 amp ESC, £83.25. And the T-Motor F60 Pro V, 750 kV, $23.90 each, which comes to, I believe, $95.60 for your total. Now Jack was flying analog setup there, which makes it slightly cheaper. So he had a Rush Tank Ultimate Mini, about £29.42. A Foxeer T-Rex Mini camera, very expensive camera but very nice, £39.60. And from a control point of view, he was using a Beta FPV Super D, that's ELRS on 2.4, which was only £15.30, so one cheap bit. Now, if you put that all together, the total you get in pounds is £450.57, which is a lot for an analog quad, even a good analog quad. In dollars, according to the internet, that's $599.90, so about $600. So it's really, really expensive. And it would be even more expensive if you put something like DJI in there, or Walk Snail, or HD0, or whatever. So the question is it worth it? And I guess, you know, if you only had a certain amount of time to fly, and you just wanted to go there and you want to have the best time ever, and you didn't want to be messing about with stuff, then that's worth it. I find my time is the most valuable resource, and I hate having to mess around and doing stuff instead of actually flying. But for the rest of us, I don't know. FPV is very price driven, and lots of things on sort of Betaflight and, you know, random Chinese ESC stacks and FCs and motors can be had very cheaply, and you can get pretty good results out of them, but do you get as good as results? I don't know. I wanted to put it there out to you guys. Who out there is flying Betaflight or is flying Kiss Ultra or has flown both, and what are your experiences, and what do you think is the best, and do you think it's worth it? All these questions. But anyway, that's our video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly had a good time, and I will catch you soon. Bye for now.
Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.